Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am super excited because I know that this is gonna help so many of you guys struggling with gaining clientele. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into how I started gaining my clientele, the strategies that I used, and any advice I have for you on gaining clientele. So if that's something that you're interested in and it's hitting hard for you because that's what you're struggling in, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I remember when I first started ever doing lashes, I kind of had like a plan. And what I mean by that is like I knew I wanted to do lash extensions. I just didn't know where, didn't know who to take a course by, didn't know what I needed, and none of that, right? So after I did all that and I found someone that I would be taking my course with, I already knew like, okay, I'm gonna get certified, I'm gonna get everything that I need, and then I'm gonna wait a good month to 2 months so that way I have, you know, family and friends that I can practice on, and then open up my Instagram for, you know, posting pictures and advertising myself. So I did hold off because I was practicing. I was making sure that I knew what the heck I was doing, because as a beginner, it's sometimes hard to really capture what diameters are, what curls are, and all that kind of stuff, right? So you have to kind of like really look at your manual if given one, go over your notes if you've taken notes in your course. And I remember when I first started, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna be like public for anyone. I'm just going to be for my friends and family until I perfect my craft. And that's what I would tell myself every single time. So I didn't start off like automatically taking in people because I didn't want to post or didn't want to do like half-ass jobs. Obviously this is just, you know, my advice, but obviously you could if you wanted, like if you felt super confident, but me personally, I did not. I wanted not my sets to necessarily be perfect, but I wanted them to be good enough in my eyes, right? So that's something that I would suggest is like, you know, whenever you do start and you get certified and you get everything that you need, definitely take some time to practice, because especially if you're taking like a classic and a volume together, like you've never touched lash extensions, you are literally going to need to really go over your notes, practice. Mainly like as a super beginner, never ever has taken a course, never nothing with lash extensions, you need to make sure that your isolation is like perfect, okay? Because you don't want to take all these clients in and just open up your books and none of that, and then your clients' lashes are like unfortunately like messing up, right? Because you're attaching one extension to multiple lashes. So you want to make sure that you do take time to practice, just because you don't want, you know, as a beginner, yes, you're gonna have people like, oh my gosh, that don't understand that you are a freaking beginner, right? Because you may post on there a million times and like have it on your bio or whatever that you are a beginner, and they sometimes just won't understand it. So I highly recommend that you just take a few days out of, or a few hours out of your day to just practice. Now, if you can't practice, just make it priority that you are like on your free days that you practice for a good amount. That way, again, your isolation, your placement, all of that is perfect. And I don't mean literally perfect, it's just, you know, good. So definitely try doing that. And then also I have notes here because I'm like very forgetful, or like I'll just go on about something else. So if you catch me looking down, it's because I have my phone that I'm reading my notes off of. But anyway, so once you know, start taking in your friends and family, that's what I recommend, you know, taking friends and family, because I would tell them like, please tell me like how this glue worked, because that's another thing that you're gonna deal with when you first start. The glue and the products and the tweezers and all of that stuff that you get from the lady or guy that you take your course from may not even be for you. It's just like a starter thing, right? So everyone has their perfect products. Like, let's say a pair of tweezers that I'm obsessed with, you freaking hate, right? Because I love those tweezers and they just didn't work for you. So that's why it's like you have to kind of keep it behind the scenes, just so you find out like what glues work for you, what tweezers are best for you, your hands, like all of that good stuff, the trays, like the tray prices. You have to find what works best for you, just because if you just take what is given to you and you don't explore, you're more than likely going to be stuck with shitty products that just do not work, which means that you're spending more money on other products, or more products that are not working for you, instead of like, you know, testing little by little on, you know, other brands that may work for you that you're gonna fall in love with. So definitely just stick to friends and family. I want to say for like a good month. Again, this is just my opinions, my advice, how I started. Thing that I highly recommend is like, okay, let's say that you are doing like your sister or your aunt or your mom's lashes, right? And they get asked like, oh, who does your lashes? I always let them know like, hey, if you refer me to someone, if like they ask you who does your lashes, I will give you $5 to $10 off. You wouldn't say $5 to $10, right? So you would pick what amount you are comfortable with giving away, pretty much, or like taking off for a discount. I definitely, I mean, this is again just me. Huge disclaimer, these are all my opinions, my advice, so please do not, like, if it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry, but you know, it's not my fault. But going on to what I was saying, I think I want to say that I did $10 off, but I don't recommend any more than that, just because you also, like, your fills are not going to be super duper expensive when you first start off, or like pricey. I want to say not expensive, but like obviously if your fills are $20 and you're giving $10 away, that's like, you know what I mean? So you do not want to overgive either. Like, yes, you are appreciative of them referring you to people, but it is a business and you just cannot give out things for free. That is something that I learned. So I believe very much of, you know, advertising by word of mouth. So if you do not know what that means, it's just, I feel like it's easier for people to talk about you and your business and like like other people, as in your clients, advertising for you. Why? Because the proof is on their eyes, right? So like, let's say you're my lash artist, you do my lashes, and someone comes up to me and is like, oh my gosh, like, who does your lashes? And I'm like, oh, it's so and so, as in like you, right? And hello, word of mouth, I now have given them your name, your Instagram name. I probably have a picture screenshotted of my lash artist to show them like, hey, you can go ahead and take a picture off my phone, like, this is my lash girl. That's how I would tell them. Like, I would tell them, hey, if you want to screenshot my Instagram, just in case, you know, you give out a referral. That way, if they book, just let them know that you sent them, and then, you know, they would get those $10 off their fill. And that's mainly the way that I gained clientele, because it was always like, oh, you know, my cousin did them, or oh, you know, my sister did them, or oh, my best friend did them, you know. So it's just like word of mouth. Like Instagram, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever, it's just a plus. I believe so much that about 90% of your clientele is gonna come by word of mouth, because they're gonna see your work on someone else, and your work is showcased on other people, right? So just be sure that that's why, again, like, you take your time to practice so you can perfect your craft. And again, every time I say perfect, I don't literally mean like perfect, but you do want to be at the best. Going on to the next thing is, I would post giveaways when I could. So I know that technically, like, a giveaway, you are giving away something for free, but think about it, right? So in your giveaway post, right, you put tag, I think mine was always like tag 2 people in the comments, like my post, share it to your story, and tag me in that story so I can see if, you know, or so I can see who has shared my post. And hello, like, even if you have a little bit of people who actually enter, those people have now shared you to their Instagram where they have more people who are going to see that. So you're just bringing in an audience, right? And although yes, again, you are going to be giving pretty much a free set, you have to think of the bigger picture. You have to think like, okay, these people or these girls are they're sharing me, so other people are going to be aware that I'm in the business. So I would try to do giveaways when possible. Again, you do not have to do none of this, but I truly feel like these few things that I am talking about today has like beyond helped me in my lash career. Another thing that I was kind of bad at to begin with, especially in like my practicing era or my practicing month, 2 months. I can't remember exactly how much I did. I want to say it was 2 months, but I can't really remember that. It's been a really long time since I started. So something that I first struggled with was my before and after pictures. Literally, I have the worst memory ever. So if this is you, like, I promise that if you try to stay consistent with them, it's gonna benefit you in the end. So be consistent with before and after pictures. I did get the hang of it after a little while. It's just I want to say that it's just hard, you know, because you sit them down or you lay them down and you just want to get to work, right? So you don't really think like, oh, let me take a picture. Like, you have to really like have that memorized in your brain, like, okay, before they lay down, before they sit down, like, please take a before and after picture. Like, before you start, don't touch anything, take your before picture and your after. Like, it's so hard because at the end of your service, you know, especially at the beginning, if you take a little bit longer than like they expect you to, which I was always super upfront, like, guys, I am a beginner still. I may take up to 3.5 hours, maybe 4. And it does happen, and I hate that people just don't understand that sometimes, because I'm here to tell you, if you're taking as a beginner, I expect you to take a long ass time, okay? And if people do not understand that, that's why I recommend starting off with friends and family, because although yes, they may give you a little crap about it, they're gonna understand like, okay, like, I'm pretty much a guinea pig and she's gonna take her time. And yes, you need to take your time. You do not need to be worried about your speed until you are like super advanced, okay? If you are struggling with your speed, please get that out of your head. I remember so many times I cried, literal tears, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, this set took me 4 hours, like my fill took me almost 3, like, what the heck is going on? I was stressing so much on how long I took instead of my work. And that is something that, yes, I am admitting to, because I need you guys to not go through that. I know it's easier said than done, but when I tell you that you do not need to be worried about your time, you really don't. If people do not understand that, that's on them. Because I'm like, if you give them, not like a warning, but if you give them a disclaimer and they don't understand that disclaimer, that is no longer in your hands. Like, that's just because they didn't understand, right? So again, just be super consistent with your before and after pictures. No matter how long you take, none of that. You need to take your before and after pictures. Okay, going on to the next thing. I was always super, so whenever I first started, let me rewind. So before I went public, and, you know, like, friends and family were asking me, like, because at the time I felt like lash extensions weren't like a big trend. Honestly, I feel like it kind of just blew up last year. So I was very informative, right? Because everyone was like, well, what the fuck is lash extensions? Or like, how do you do it? Or what do you need? Or like, how do you take care of them, right? And a lot of people just don't know. Like, unfortunately, there's some people that think that lash extensions are like strip lashes, that you don't have to take care of them, right? Because strip lashes, you take them off at the end of the day. You don't have to clean them until, you know, like, you want to, pretty much. But they didn't know the maintenance on it. They didn't know like how it worked or what classic hybrid volume meant, because at the time, like when I first started, I was not offering megas, right? So I just made sure that I was very informative on that, just because a lot of people were super scared to get them done because they thought I was putting them on their skin, or they thought that's how extensions worked. And you know, obviously that's not how they work. They go on the natural lash. But that's the thing, like people who are not in the industry just won't ever know what extensions are until they're told what they are, or how they work, or how they're placed, or how much maintenance they have. So be very informative. No matter, like, no question is a dumb question, because I remember when I first got into lashes ever, like for myself, I feel like whenever I asked around before I found my lash tech at the time, I felt like the lash artists would come off very ugly and very like are you serious? Like, you don't know what they are kind of vibe, you know what I mean? So didn't like that. That's obviously why I didn't stick with them, because whenever I did find like my lash artist, she was super informative. If I had questions, she never made me feel dumb. Like, bro, like that's common sense, because it's really not. It's not common sense, and I know that for a fact. So please be nice, and your customer service has to be freaking perfect, and that has to be freaking perfect, okay, at 100% all the time. But going on to my last thing is, I would post so much, and what I mean by that is I believe I would post about twice a day, and I would use hashtags. I feel like hashtags do help, because that's what people get on Instagram for sometimes when they are looking for things. I know hashtags can be very like I don't know, I feel like people be using just random hashtags just because they want to gain like views on their post or attention, you know. So I mean, yes, it has its pros and cons, but it's worth trying. So I would use like my local I think I would put like local lash artist, Midland, Texas, or just like Midland, Texas, because that's where I live right now, right? So I would put like West Texas lash artist, like anything that is super local, as in like within a good like 20-25 minutes around my area. Okay, so like it's, you know, if you're in Dallas and you're putting like Houston, don't do that, okay? Just because you want to get people to hop on your post, it's just better because then they know where you're from or where you're located. So if they're looking for a Midland lash artist, they're gonna see all the Midland lash artist posts. If they're looking for Dallas posts, Odessa, vice versa, so, or etc. One of those. So I actually want to add one more thing, and I know I said this was like my last, but I would always I would be extra. So their spoolies at first, like for my friends and family, I would throw away, and they would be like what the fuck, you didn't give me anything, right? Because if you know, you know, a spoolie given to you at the end of your service is like a lollipop given to you after the doctor. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm right? Okay. I made sure that I was cute with my little spoolies. I would top them with some straws. So I would cut like a straw, and I will show you right now what I mean, because it's literally freaking hilarious. Let me go. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I mean by I was like cute or whatever, so I would, after their service, I would take, you know, their spoolie and put this little straw that's cut for the size of like the little bristles. Well, maybe not the exact size, you know, but I made sure that it was pretty close, just so that way it's, look at how cute that is. And girls love this. I don't know why, it is so funny to me, but hey, whatever makes your clients happy, girl, do it. So that definitely was a hit around here. But yeah, and they're just straws that I like have pre-cut in a drawer, so that way like I can just, they're already cut for the size. I can't remember where I got them though, but you can use any straws. I remember I did like Halloween toppers or covers or whatever. I don't think I did Christmas, but whatever you can find, do it. If you can be like cute and crafty with them like that, you know, for the holidays or seasons, then if you can, do it. Because I'm telling you, it's the little things that you may think like no one's gonna freaking care. They really do, because they're on the client's point of view. So they don't, like, we may think as lash artists like that's it, like you really like that, you know, but they really will. It's just, it's funny and cute. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it helped you, because I know that it helped me a lot. I just feel like a lot of people don't know or aren't taught how to gain clients. I feel like it's just like, okay, I'm gonna give you a course and that's it, which I understand, you know, but it's always good to have a course and to have a teacher or tutor and like a instructor who's gonna show you more than just what you're there for, right? Is to apply extensions. Just because, again, like, you can teach someone to apply extensions, but if you're not teaching them how to gain the clients to apply those extensions on, it's kind of hard, you know, because then it feels like you're just being left out in the freaking, for the wolves to get. So that's again why I made this video, because no one ever told me any of this stuff. I'm telling you, I had to learn the majority of how to gain clients, how to like read red flags from them. Everything I had to do on my own, because no one told me how. And that's why I wish I had like a better instructor, because I feel like my business could have been blooming a lot quicker than it took me. But again, I hope these tips helped you if you have not been using them, and this is something new. I pray that this works and you are booked and busy the whole year round, every year round, because it is such a good feeling to have when you start in this industry and you're like, man, I'm never gonna get clients, like it's taking me so long. And then, you know, out of nowhere, even though you've probably been putting in the hard work, but out of nowhere to you, because that's what it feels like, you start getting all these clients, all these like, dang, I really want to get in with you. It is the best feeling in the freaking world to be booked and busy. So I'm sprinkling my booked and busy dust to you, because I really hope and pray that these tips help you to gain your clientele. But if you have any questions, or if you guys want any other video posted on a certain topic, please comment that down below. But that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.